Welcome to the staircase. I think I've figured out that this is kind of a good spot to film because we're right in front of a window, so you'll be seeing a lot more of the staircase from now on. Today, we are going to be tackling my first bigger home reno project. We're gonna be stripping one of the closet doors upstairs. I'm kind of using that door as a test because I'd like to do all of the doors in the house, but that one's just our spare bedroom door, and so if it doesn't really work out, it's okay. Hopefully I can just paint it back to white if I'm not able to strip it, and it's not the end of the world. But ideally, I would like to get them back to their original beautiful glory because they are solid wood doors and I think they could be really beautiful. I had initially thought about stripping all of our windowsills and like this banister, the white that's painted onto these steps, but the more I think about it, the crazier that is, and I don't know if that's something that I can necessarily do myself. That might be something for a professional or just for nobody to ever attempt. The doors I'm feeling pretty confident about, and even more than feeling confident, I'm actually just very curious about what that process is going to be like. I've seen so many TikToks and Instagram reels of people stripping their doors. A lot of them have lead-based paint underneath layers of latex paint, so I'm kind of assuming that my doors are also gonna have some lead-based paint, so I'll be wearing gloves and taking necessary precautions. And I'll also be stripping the door outside in my garage, where I can just open the big garage door and there'll be really good ventilation that way. It is also getting cold out, and I don't know if Paint Stripper performs very well in the cold, so we'll see how it goes. This might be more of a project for the spring and summer when it's a little warmer outside, but whatever. It's November. I'm eager to do this project, so we're just gonna do it and see how it goes. Oh, I should mention that Canadian Paint Stripper, I think in the last year, became not nearly as good as Paint Stripper in the US. I guess some regulations changed in terms of chemicals that you can put in Paint Stripper, and so Jeremy and I actually drove all the way down to the States specifically to buy Paint Stripper, but we also stopped at this incredible, it's like an American Mexican chain restaurant that I just love because I love giant portions of Tex-Mex. We each got a burrito and I got a giant margarita.
I think so. I'll try this out because I'm actually...
Yeah.
And then for the chili, what kind of...
It's like be hungry again. Yeah. We decided to go to Target, and honestly I was kind of surprised by some of the home goods. American Target has some nice house stuff.
Is it bad that I like this pillow? Like, I think it's kind of a nice pillow.
I ended up getting one of those, like a bench for my bathtub that I could put a book on. Yeah, I was quite pleasantly surprised.
You got a lot better with the school. Like, yes, you don't. Good.
No other direct.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Let's buy a pallet of...
And we went to a hardware store, and it was like the biggest hardware store I've ever been in my entire life. It was absolutely nuts. It felt like a shopping mall, but just for hardware. Picked up some Paint Stripper there, and then drove back home. I'm gonna do the top half of the door with citrus strip, and then I'm gonna do the bottom half of the door with ready strip. I've never used either of them, so I don't know what to expect at all, but I just wanna see which one will work better. So we'll see what happens, and then whichever one strips better, I'll continue to use that paint stripper for the rest of the door and hopefully future doors. So this is just a little test. That's kind of the main tip that I've got.
Oh, it's thick.
So thick. These like kind of mundane. Oh, what the hell's dirt? Get out of it. Oh, I can see it starting to crackle a little bit. Ooh, okay, this is promising.
I would hope so.
If this just straight up doesn't work, I feel like the conclusion to the video is just gonna have to be, if you want something done, get a man to do it. If you want something done right, get a woman to do it. If you want something, get me to do it. Are there instructions for them in the little? Oh, it smells like bananas.
Oh.
Okay. Forbidden icing. All right. I'm just gonna take a little break from stripping paint and oiling hinges to drop off a pair of pants at my mom's friend's place because she's gonna hem them for me. And then I think I'm gonna walk over to a coffee shop that's near her house, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of editing on my laptop and then maybe a little bit of reading. I'd kind of like to stop staring at a screen and just slow down a little bit. The last week has been so chaotic and I feel like I've just been on the go, and then by the time the evening rolls around, I basically just collapse from exhaustion. So today I'm just gonna take it a little bit easier, get some work done, and then do some reading and not stare at a screen. I'm just doing a little journaling right now while I have my coffee. I've kind of been filming and editing and tidying and doing about a million different things at once this morning. I figured I should just sit down and take a minute to do a little bit of journaling because during this move, I really haven't been journaling at all. And I think it might be kind of nice to just get out some of the feelings I've been feeling and really process everything, which I haven't really given myself a second to do. Yeah, big changes like moving and the amount of work that it takes to move. I find big changes like moving can sometimes be so overwhelming that I almost become a little bit numb. And then it takes me sometimes a few weeks to actually feel all of my feelings. And I think I'm starting to feel them a little bit more now. Okay, anyway, feelings aside, I'm gonna change into some kind of gross clothes shortly and go out into the garage and strip the paint and paint stripper off of the door that's out there. I actually left it on for, it's been more than 24 hours now because, so I put the paint stripper on 2 days ago and I put a saran wrap on top of it, so it should still be wet, but yesterday just kind of got away from me. I had intended to strip all the paint off the door, but I just ended up not having time and I was out of the house last night. So that I need to do today and hopefully it still works. I think one of the paint strippers said that you can leave it on for more than 24 hours, like up to a few days at a time. I don't know about the other one, so we'll see how it goes. I might have just made so much more work for myself by not doing this properly, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be fine. I don't know.
The moment of truth.
I just got back inside from being out in the garage and it's very chilly in there. I could actually see my breath while I was scraping the paint off. So I'm just taking a little bit of a break and I'm gonna make some lunch shortly. But basically what I learned from scraping off that first layer of paint is you can leave it for over 24 hours as long as it's covered up and wet, it'll still be scrapable. So that's good to know. I definitely need to reapply at least one more coat, but it's scraping off really well, which is making me think that the paint might all be latex based and not lead paint. I've been reading that lead paint can be almost impossible to strip and you actually have to use a heat gun to get it to come off because it's more likely to flake rather than just peel off nicely. So hopefully this is all just latex paint. I'm able to see a little bit of the wood already, which is very promising. I think the citrus strip side of the door that I did actually worked better than the ready strip. The ready strip, I just don't think it penetrated as deep, and it's also a lot messier to scrape off. It kind of foams and bubbles a little bit, and it just creates a weird volume, sort of. It's like it almost expands and absorbs the paint, and then it's just super messy to scrape off. So I don't think I'm gonna use it again. I'll just stick with the citrus strip. But yeah, it's going well. I have a little bit of editing to do, so I'm just gonna do some work inside, eat lunch, and then I'll probably go back out there, wipe everything down with a rag, and then apply a second layer of paint stripper. It is the middle of the day and I'm in my pajamas, but I just wanted to be cozy. And I was out this morning with Jeremy doing some work, and then when I got home I was kind of cold and I just wanted to get bundled up. Anyway, this delivery guy just dropped off our dresser and he delivered it upside down. I wasn't really expecting it to come as one piece, but I think it is just one piece. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it up the stairs myself. I think it's like just under 200 pounds. But maybe if I just like slide it up the steps. I'm really bad about doing this with things like new furniture or projects around the house. I feel like I have to do them and I have to do them now. And I should just wait for John to get home from work. But I also just feel like I can do it. I'm a very capable lady. I can do this myself, maybe. If there's a will, there's a way. So as I threatened to do, I did try to move the dresser upstairs, but it's 200 pounds, so I couldn't do it myself. It was just impossible. I waited for John to get home, and then even the two of us trying to move it was crazy. That thing was so heavy, but unfortunately we opened the box and I just saw a massive crack in the top left corner of the dresser. The guy that delivered the dresser was kind of dragging it up our front walkway, and then he just basically threw it onto the ground in the front walkway. And like I had offered to help him get it up our front stairs. He kind of just looked at me blankly and then like ignored me. And then after he kind of threw it on the ground, he just looked at me and went, "Fuck, that was heavy," and then left. And I was like, okay, that was a bit odd. Whatever, it is heavy, he's right. And then yeah, when we opened it, we realized that it was broken, and 3 of the drawers are also broken. Like they fully just don't open and close properly. We contacted Silk and Snow. Initially, we're gonna see if we could get a partial refund because we thought it was just aesthetic damage. Then when we realized that all the drawers, or 3 of the drawers, are broken, now we just have to return it because it isn't even functional. So that was too bad. It looks so nice. But yeah, it's like straight up doesn't work. So that's kind of a bummer, but whatever. There are worse things happening in the world than my dresser not functioning. So just like little furniture setback. But I'm gonna go to a coffee shop and actually edit this video and get a fun little drink. hopefully get some work done. I have a bunch of stuff to edit today, so just gonna have a busy little work afternoon. Oh, also, it's been snowing. It finally snowed. This is the first November of my entire life that it hasn't been snowing in Winnipeg. It feels almost dystopian, to be honest. But yeah, there's finally snow on the ground. It makes me really happy. It just, yeah, it doesn't feel like a cozy winter to me until there's snow. I'm used to like waist deep snow. So it's kind of exciting. I love a snowflake. It is not nearly as cold as I thought it would be. In fact, it's actually kind of nice out. I just got home from the coffee shop where I drank far too much caffeine, and it's starting to have that reverse effect where it's making me tired. I don't know if that happens to anybody else, but it happens to me. And I got changed. I actually put this shirt on and then I cut the bottom of the shirt off because it's always been too long, but I actually think I cut it too short and now you can see my belly when I move. That was a mistake. Oh well, now we're gonna go eat Korean food.
It'll look like this. No, that's the bulky. It's just like pink.
Ooh, that's fun. It's not hot as fuck, so. GOODREADS, which is literally what they would make in the army.
It's
In
got
a
like-
little like tin over some.
That's very nice.
You may have noticed by now that I've been wearing basically nothing but this hoodie for the last week, but it's so comfy and so soft. It's the best. I'm also very into putting eggnog in my second coffee of the day as of late. I like my first cup of coffee in the morning to have cream, but then the second cup of coffee with eggnog, such a nice treat. We're gonna head out to the garage in a second and I'm gonna give you a little door update because it's looking good, but I want you to see for yourselves. Here's a little door update. I'm thinking I should probably do one more layer of paint stripper and then potentially consider sanding, but I'm gonna test for lead paint before I do that. I haven't quite figured out how to get this hardware off. I think I might have to take the hardware off on the other side of the door first, but I did manage to finally get these hinges off, which was pretty exciting, and I'm gonna boil them soon. But that's where we're at. It feels really good being able to actually see the wood, but there still is so much work left to do. I'm just in the bathroom and I'm gonna do my hair right now because I have to work a shift at the restaurant that I work at sometimes. I think I've mentioned to you guys that sometimes I work at this restaurant. It's kind of similar to the bakery that I work at, where I kind of just pick up a shift whenever they need somebody. So it'll be like once a month, I'll go and work there. Not very often, but all of my friends work there. So it's just kind of a fun little way to hang out. I have to admit, I do kind of dread working these shifts just during the day leading up to the shift because I always get that kind of impending doom feeling. But then when I actually get to the restaurant, it's very fun and I get to see all my friends and I have a good time. But I have a lot of other things that I need to get done, like my own work that I need to do before I leave for that shift. So I need to make sure I have good time management skills today. I've been thinking about getting my extensions put back in because my hair just gets so fluffy without them, and I just find it's actually so much easier to style my hair when I have the extensions in. But we'll see. I think maybe that would be something I would do after the holidays. Oh, I'll give you a little reading update. I've been reading Bread of Angels by Patti Smith. I've read 2 of her other books, Just Kids and M-Train. M-Train is easily my favorite of her books. I just think it's such a fantastic memoir. Initially, I wasn't really sure if I loved Bread of Angels because the first probably like 100-ish pages of the book are mostly about her childhood, and something I've learned about myself recently is that while I do think that childlike wonder and joy are important, I don't necessarily love reading from the perspective of a child, and that's kind of what the first half of the book was. I think maybe I just find, and this is gonna sound kind of negative, but I find childlike innocence, it's very cute and it can be very whimsical, but sometimes I just find it a little bit boring, which is sort of funny to say out loud. I think that kind of makes me sound a bit evil. And I love children, like I really enjoy hanging out with kids, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, sometimes just books that are told from the perspective of a child or like a really innocent person, like the book Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro, I really didn't enjoy because it was told from the perspective of, it's like a robot girl named Clara, and it's kind of her discovering the world for the first time, and it kind of drove me nuts. That's just a me problem. Anyway, the second half of the book I've been absolutely loving, and I think the final, I have about 70 pages, maybe like 60 pages left, and I think I'm just gonna absolutely rip through those, and when I get home from my shift tonight, I can't wait to just get into the bath or get into bed and read this book. It's also been really interesting reading this memoir because I'd read some of her others and I sort of felt like I already knew so much about her, and I went into this memoir kind of thinking, like, I don't know that there's much more for me to learn about Patti Smith after having already read 2 of her memoirs, and then I have been very pleasantly surprised by the things that she sort of repeats through her memoirs, but she also goes into a lot more detail about certain aspects of her life, like her marriage. I don't think I had really known much about it from her other books. Like her memoir M-Train, she mentions that she was married to a man, but didn't really know much about him, and then in this memoir, Bread of Angels, we actually do learn a little bit more about their relationship and how she met him, which I just found really fascinating.